Tonight's the night, and it's going to happen again and again. Hello, Dexter Morgan fans, and welcome to another Dexter-related video. You already know I've reviewed every single episode of Dexter on this channel, including the most recent 10 episodes of Dexter Resurrection Season 1, and then I also did my updated Dexter Seasons Ranked, and then I did a top 25 ranking of the Dexter villain/antagonist. Hope you all enjoyed those videos. If you haven't watched any of those yet, make sure you watch it and let me know your thoughts. So, as you can see by the thumbnail, in this particular video, I'm going to be ranking my top 15 favorite Dexter episodes of all time. My opinion, of course. Before I get into that, though, pretty important, if you haven't watched the original 96 episodes of Dexter, the season of Dexter New Blood, the season of Dexter Original Sin, and, of course, Dexter Resurrection Season 1, it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this detailed review any further to avoid any potential spoilers. And like I said, this video is going to be my personal opinion. We're not going to agree. If we all had the same opinion, the world would be a very different, or very boring place. And I wouldn't need to do ranking videos like this because you'd have the same opinion as me. So just make sure that you leave your ranking of your Dexter episodes in the comments section. You don't have to do 15. If you want to do top 3, your favorite episode, your top 5, your top 10, or if you really got a long list, if you want to give you your top 20, or if you've ranked every single episode of Dexter, you can leave that in the comments section. Some people have pointed that out to me. I should rank every single episode of Dexter. That would be a lot of work to do, and I'd have a hard time differentiating some episodes. So there'd be like a tier. I'd do a tier list for that maybe, but that's a lot of work. But if you do have some sort of ranking, again, leave that in the comment section, and make sure you're interacting with me and all my Dexter fanatics, which will include the legendary Crazy Kaufman, Brad Hawk Talk, T. Parker Evans, Rusty Reels, Troy McClure, and Vinny Lima. We all love talking Dexter, and we'll all be in the comment section. So, I should mention, don't forget to hit that sub button. You're watching the video anyway. Subscribe, motherfucker. Help me get over 100K subscribers. Yes, I know I set my goals pretty high. Join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. And you never know what you're going to see on JDev TV, especially when there's no Dexter to talk about after this week of ranking videos. So, kicking things off, my top 10 or my top 15 favorite Dexter episodes of all time. And this list could change. I could have a different opinion tomorrow. And remember, this is my personal opinion. So, in 15th place, I'm going to go with Runaway, which was the 5th episode of Dexter New Blood. The plot synopsis is Dexter's method of protecting his son from drugs unleashes his dark passenger. Angela and Molly's New York City trip leaves them wondering about a well-respected member of the community. So this is the episode where Harrison goes to the party and ODs. He's okay though. And then we also have Angela and Molly Brown at this, or not Molly Brown, Molly Park. At this conference, and it just so happens that Miami Metro Homicide Captain Angel Batista is speaking there, and then he clues Angela in on some tidbits about, he had a son, the Baybar Harbor Butcher, and his friend Dexter, and, he had a son, Harrison, and then, of course, the end of the episode is where Angela does some Google searches and gets a fax, or she prints something out, and she finds the obituary for Dexter Morgan and realizes that he's not Jim Lindsay. So, I don't like putting Dexter New Blood episodes in this ranking because I absolutely hate that season, but there are some good episodes. There's a lot of crap, and then a couple good ones. So, Runaway from Dexter New Blood is my number 15. Number 14, I'm going to go with Everything is Illuminated, which is Season 5, Episode 6. The plot is, trying to get his life back on track, Dexter hunts a new target, but is distracted and drawn into a precarious situation while helping his troubled acquaintance, Lumen. Batista uncovers an interesting lead in the Santa Muerte murder cases. So this is the episode where Lumen wants to kill or torture some of the barrel guys, and she has one of them captive, and then he kind of gets away. Dexter's already tried to kill somebody else in this episode, and then he brings that person there, and it's wrapped in plastic, and Masuka, they end up getting away at the last second with the 2 victims there, and Masuka thinks it was like a sex crime, like they did some weird kinky shit, and I don't know. It's just a memorable episode. Maybe it shouldn't be in my top 15. I'm sure if I thought about it some more, I'd be like, nah, I don't know. But it's memorable, and I wanted to try to include as many seasons in this video because there are some seasons where I don't have a episode. So everything is illuminated. Season 5, episode 6 is my number 14. Number 13, another Dexter New Blood episode. I said there was a couple that I liked, and I'm going to go with Family Business, which is the penultimate episode of Dexter New Blood, where Dexter and Harrison find themselves closer than ever over Christmas break, bringing father and son into the crosshairs of a serial killer, Kurt Caldwell. Angela starts to wonder if Iron Lake is not a safe place, as she thought it always was. So this is the episode where Dexter kind of gets along with Harrison. Finally, New Blood Harrison is likable, at least for one episode, and then he becomes super unlikable. And then in the finale, what's the finale called? I can't remember what the finale is called. And then, of course, Dexter Resurrection. He has a complete resurrection of his character, and he's like really cool. So, yeah, they kill Kurt Caldwell in this episode. Harrison necessarily isn't like super excited about it. It kind of makes him a little bit wheezy, I guess, but that's really the big focal point of the episode. But I just remember it being a good episode, but I don't remember all the details because I don't really like to go back and watch Dexter New Blood. So the Family Business from Dexter New Blood is my number 13. In the 12th place, I'm picking Backseat Driver, which is from Dexter Resurrection, Season 1, Episode 3. This is the episode where Dexter must carefully balance Blessing's attempts to help him get acclimated as Harrison is drawn deeper into the police investigation. This is the episode where Dexter eventually kills Ronald Red Schmidt, and you also have the scene where Angel Batista is back in Miami, and Quinn and Masuka show up at the bar, and they have that touching moment. And I said in my review, not really knowing it, but I'm like, just the way they hugged him, like, is this the last time these characters ever see each other? I didn't think that would actually be true, but it turned out to be true. But it was a memorable episode. I really liked it. Dexter's, interaction with Ronald Schmidt. I liked it. Maybe not everybody likes it, but I certainly did, and that's why it's my number 12. In 11th place, which this might get me canceled because I know a lot of you out there really, really, really love this episode of Dexter Resurrection, and it's like everybody's favorite episode. And I'm like, it's good, but I don't know if it's that good. But I'm going to go with Call Me Red from Dexter Resurrection, Season 1, Episode 4, which is where Dexter attends the mysterious gathering of serial killers hosted by the highly influential figure Leon Prater with weird ambitions. Harrison continues to struggle with mounting guilt and pressure at work just as Angel Batista arrives in New York City. I think it's a good episode, but I don't know why everybody thinks it's like a top 3 episode of Dexter. I mean, yeah, you get introduced to all these serial killers. They're barely utilized in the season. So, I mean, it's cool like that, but I don't know. I don't know. Like, I like the scenes where Dexter's open. He can talk to, like, people with like-minded people. That's cool. And then he kills, Mr. Lowell, Tonight's the Night, Baby, played by Neil Patrick Harris in this episode. And he kind of has some interesting scenes with Mia LaPierre, Lady Vengeance. But other than that, I mean, it's a good episode, but, like, top tier, like 9.6 or 9.5 out of 10, I wouldn't go that far. Like high 8s or 9 or 9.1 maybe for me. So, but hey, I thought it was a good episode, and without saying it's the best episode of Dexter, and that's why I put it at number 11. Now we're into the top 10, and this is where it gets really hard, and most of these episodes could easily be number 1 on anybody's list, and I had a hard time with this placement. But coming in 10th place, which this was the easiest one to pick for me, and you're probably going to cancel me for this or roll your eyes, but I'm going to go with Are We There Yet? From Dexter Season 8, Episode 8. The synopsis is Dexter tracks down Zach Hamilton, concerned that he may have murdered an innocent person, and then Dexter also tries to help Hannah McKay escape the country. Now, this is the episode where Dexter and Hannah go on the road trip to, find Zach Hamilton, and he's staying at this hotel, and Dexter didn't realize that Zach Hamilton is actually trying to use the code. He's a little sloppy, but he's actually following the directions that he he's given. And then you also have when Zach and Dexter are out dealing with the body that he has. Hannah's in the hotel room, and then Deb shows up. It's like, you're under arrest, freeze. And Hannah's like, yeah, I'm supposed to believe that you're going to arrest me with what your brother does. And then Dexter and Zach Hamilton come into the hotel room, and Deb says something like, what is this, a serial killer convention? And Zach Hamilton's like, wow, you're doing both of them? Teach me. And Dexter's like, she's my sister. So I just really like the episode. And then the end of the episode are, the last scenes essentially of the episode are Dexter, Zach Hamilton, and Hannah going to Evelyn Vogel's place. And they have like a serial killer dinner. Who knows if Evelyn Vogel was a serial killer or not? Maybe. She's certainly kind of messed up in the head to a degree, with her. I mean, she's a psychiatrist, but I think there's more to her than that. But I just really like the episode. I know it's from season 8, and all of you hate season 8. I think it's overhated, but I really like this episode, and I'm a Hannah fanatic, so that's why that one comes in at number 10. And I had no thought of putting this at number 1. This was one that was an easy choice. 10, I'm fine with that placement. Coming in 9th place for me is going to be Course Correction from Dexter New Blood. Season 1, Episode 7. They're at there's a remote retreat hosted by Leon Prater. Dexter discovers unsettling information about Gareth, and then Harrison contemplates his future and his growing sense of justice, driven by Elsa's struggles with her abusive landlord. So this is the episode where Dexter has great theater in front of Al, Prater, Charlie, Gareth. Just great how he actually does that puppet thing. And he's like, Al, if you took your mask off, your family would hate you. And then we also have the end of the episode is Batista actually at Blessing's place. And Dexter's like, oh, man, I'll take you home. And then just have a Breaking Bad, Dexter's like, if you continue with this, it won't end well for you. Like when Walter White says, tread lightly. So, if you are Dexter's like, if you think I am who you think I am, this isn't going to end well for you. And Batista unfortunately says, I'll take my chances. And Angel, you should have just went back to Miami and had fun with Quinn and Masuka. But I just really like the episode a lot. In fact, I didn't want to put it at 9th place, but I mean, we got some really heavy episodes here. So Course Correction from Dexter Resurrection is my number 9. Coming in 8th place, and I actually had to move this one down, and I was not happy about it, but I'm going to go with Surprise, Motherfucker from Dexter Season 7, Episode 12. LaGuerta closes in on Dexter's secret. Dexter struggles to protect himself and Deborah and the life he's built. This is like LaGuerta full on after Dexter. And you also have James Dokes, Eric King, returning as a hallucination just to give his line of surprise, motherfucker, and then giving us an extra scene of Dokes that we did not see in the original 2 seasons of Dexter. So that was cool. I really like that. And then you have Dexter with Hector Estrada in the shipping container. LaGuerta shows up, and then Deb eventually shows up, and she has to make a choice. And then Deb shoots LaGuerta. I don't know why she did that. She should have said, I'll let you handle it how you want to handle it. But really good episode. I really like the episode, as a matter of fact. Then you have the stuff with Hannah McKay. She's incarcerated or she's arrested, and she gets out of it by having her friend slip her something. And I just really love the episode. I was not happy about putting this at number 8, but there's just some good episodes coming up that are just a little bit better. So, Surprise, Motherfucker, Season 7, Episode 12 is my number 8. In 7th place, I think a lot of you might choose this as your favorite episode, and it's really good, so I wouldn't disagree with that. I'm going to go with Hungry Man from Dexter Season 4, Episode 9. We're not done with Season 4 after this one. Plot is Dexter learns about Arthur's bizarre and twisted world, while Rita has her hands full preparing Thanksgiving dinner for a full house. Deborah uses the holiday to further investigate Trinity, and Batista gets closure on an old case. This is the Thanksgiving episode of Dexter, where we have Masuka, Aster, Cody, Deborah, and Rita all having Thanksgiving. You also have Elliot, the neighbor guy there, and then Rita and Elliot, he kisses her in that, and Masuka sees it, And then you also have Dexter having to go to both these Thanksgivings, so he goes to Arthur Mitchell's Thanksgiving, and we find out how like abusive Arthur Mitchell is to Jonah, like breaking his fingers because he dented his car. And then Dexter like finally shows his dark passenger to Arthur and all of his family members. And it's just a really suspenseful episode, and every Thanksgiving I watch this episode, along with now Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, a Cody Leach favorite that I just started a tradition of watching in 2024, and I will continue to watch that every Thanksgiving going forward. So yeah, I love Hungry Man. It's a really good episode, and I might not even be giving it full justice and forgetting little things that happen in the episode, like something about, I think Masuka was kind of hitting on Aster, if I remember correctly. So he shows his like weirdness in the episode, like, oh no, Masuka, you should just shut your mouth, otherwise you're going to get arrested. And Chris Hansen from Dateline is going to show up. So Hungry Man, Season 4, Episode 9 is my number 7. Coming in sixth place for me, this is a tough one. I'm going to go with Touched by an Angel from Dexter Resurrection, Season 1, Episode 9. You have Prater and Charlie reveal that they know a critical piece of information, forcing Dexter to extreme lengths. However, as Dexter attempts to set up a meeting with Prater, Harrison finds himself further engaged in the things. This is the episode where we lose, unfortunately, Angel Batista. Leon Prater finally shows his true colors and shoots and kills Angel Batista. I mean, yeah, he was a guy that was obsessed with serial killers and had meetups with these serial killers, but he hadn't, in my opinion, done anything wrong. Maybe you could say he's funding these killers. Okay, fine, that's fine, but he finally shows his true colors and gets, like, his acting really is on par here. Charlie does really, she's a little bit less tougher in this episode, but there's reasons why. And then just the performance at the end with what happens to Batista, like, he's on the table, and Dexter's like, my friend Angel, he's never going to stop. And Dexter cuts him free, and then what does Batista do? This guy wants him to kill, Leon Prater's telling Dexter to kill him. Dexter lets him go. What does Angel do? He attacks Dexter, tries to choke Dexter out, and Dexter thought that maybe we've been partners before, maybe we could be partners again. And then Dexter, like, he's not even really trying to fight back as Angel's choking him. Like, something about being killed by my best friend would be kind of soothing to me. And then Leon Prater shoots him like 5 times. And then he leaves the vault that they're in, the trophy vault with all the serial killer, stuff that's in there. And then Dexter, has a moment with Angel Batista, like, I didn't kill Dokes, Deb, and LaGuerta. Yeah, but what would have happened to LaGuerta if Deb didn't show up? I think he was going to kill LaGuerta, if I remember correctly. Maybe he wasn't. And then Dokes, was he 100% sure he was going to turn himself in? At that point, maybe, I guess. I wish they would have kept Dokes around. That's unfortunate. But yeah, it's a great episode. And then, Angel, Dexter, he's like, Dexter Morgan, fuck you. And then Angel Batista dies. And it's just heartbreaking episode. So I had to put it on the list, and that's why it's my number 6. Coming in fifth place, another episode where I think a lot of you might put it as your number 1 episode, and I wouldn't necessarily disagree. It's really good. I'm going to go with Born Free from Dexter Season 1, Episode 12, the Season 1 finale. This is the episode where plot synopsis is Dexter follows the clues left for him by the ice truck killer in an effort to rescue his kidnapped loved one, Deb, while Rita's ex tries to convince her that Dexter is too dangerous to be around their children. This is the episode where Dexter finds out that Rudy Cooper is not only the ice truck killer, well, you already knew that, but he's also his long-lost brother, Brian Moser, Biney, which is crazy. And then Brian wants him to kill Deb because they're not really blood related, and Dexter chooses not to kill Deb. And then he eventually sets Brian up and kills Brian Moser, but he doesn't really want to do it. And it's just a really good episode. Now, they didn't really know where the show was going to go at this point. They didn't even know if they'd be picked up for another season. But it's a very powerful episode and a great way to end Season 1 of Dexter. So that's why it's my number 5. Now we're really getting into the really good episodes. I mean, I've talked about a couple of really, really good ones, the last couple. But now this was really a tough task. My final 4... Coming in fourth place, I'm going to go with Resistance is Futile from Dexter Season 2, Episode 9, Dexter tries to distance himself from Lila, but discovers she is unwilling to let go of their relationship. Lundy's manhunt makes Dexter nervous as he tries to stay one step ahead, but it's Dexter's worst enemy that learns his secret. So this episode has Dexter talking to Deb in his apartment, and then the feds come. Dexter Morgan, we need you to come with us. It's like really like intense. Like he's not handcuffed or anything, but he comes to Miami Metro, and you have like all the characters, Batista, LaGuerta, Masuka, kind of look at him as he walks in. Like everybody thinks that Dexter's gonna be taken down as the Bay Harbor Butcher, and he goes into like the briefing room. I think it was the briefing room, and you have Lundy and Matthews there. I think Lundy's sitting at a desk and Matthews is standing up, if I remember correctly. And Dexter's blood slide box is right there, as Dokes had got it in the previous episode. I think, or was it in this episode? I don't remember that specific detail. But you see that blood slide box right there, and you're like, what the fuck is going on here? And then Lundy's like, we have a suspect in the Bay Harbor Butcher case, James Dokes. So we need you to put gloves on and analyze this and bring him down. So Dexter has to examine his own blood slides. And yeah, it's just a really suspenseful episode. And I really like it. In fact, I like a lot of episodes in season 2, and I'm only not really having that many on this list. There should be a lot more. But this was definitely a good one, and that's why Resistance is Futile is my 4th favorite episode of Dexter. Coming in 3rd place, and this, another episode that could easily be my number 1. And I really love this episode. In fact, I just watched it a couple days ago. And that would be Dex Takes a Holiday from Dexter Season 4, Episode 4. Dexter gets some much-needed rest and relaxation time with Rita and the kids because he had broke the light in the last episode. And they go out of town to give him a little bit of a vacation, leading to his stalking of a new victim, and a police officer named Zoe Kruger. And she's a cop that murdered her family. But this is a crazy episode. Zoe Kruger is a very, underrated villain in Dexter. Unfortunately, she's only in one episode, but I really like her. And when I do my top 50 favorite characters of Dexter, you better bet that Zoe Kruger will be on that ranking. But it's just amazing. The cat and mouse game between Dexter and Zoe Kruger. And also you have in this episode Frank Lundy and Deb finally getting back together. Not sure why Deb wants to get that old man. I don't know how much older he is in the show for her, but I like Deb when she's with Lundy, though. That's the weird thing. But it's like, forget about Anton. I really like this old man. But they're walking, they're kissing, and then as Deb walks away, Lundy has this strange look, and then somebody shoots Deb, and then shoots Lundy, and Deb's laying on the ground, but she's still moving. And Lundy isn't moving. So Frank Lundy is killed in this episode. You have this cat and mouse game between Dexter and Zoe Kruger. And it's unexpected. You don't expect anything to happen. That's crazy in this episode. I really love it. And then, Zoe Kruger's on the table. She's all wrapped up in plastic. And I'm going out of order of the events of the episode because the death of Lundy and Deb getting shot is at the end. You have Zoe Kruger. What, are you going to rape me now? Rape? No, I'm going to kill you. I love the episode. I wish it was higher. Right now, it's currently my number 3. In 2nd place, I'm going to go with Hello, Dexter Morgan from Season 4, Episode 11. Dexter must buy time to protect himself when Deborah's investigation brings the department one step closer, or one step away from identifying Arthur Mitchell as the Trinity Killer, and then Rita confides in Dexter but is disappointed in the result. This is kind of like, when Dexter found out that Elliot was that kiss Rita, so she wants Dexter to do something big time about it. And then we also have the cat and mouse stuff between, Dexter had been following Arthur Mitchell, and then Arthur Mitchell eventually figures it out, and he outsmarts Dexter, and then he's following him. And then the episode ends with Arthur Mitchell walking through Miami Metro, and he sees a display case with the bowling picture. Dexter, Masuka, Batista, and some other guy, I can't remember who it is. I don't think it's a named character. And then he walks into that actual department. Dexter walks up to him, and he looks down his name tag. Hello, Dexter Morgan, because he's been thinking he's Kyle Butler all this time. It's just so suspenseful. I really love this episode of Dexter. Unfortunately, it's only my number 2. And then my favorite episode of Dexter, you probably already know what it is already. And one could argue that any of these like bottom 5 could be my number 1 for sure. But I'm going to go with The Getaway, the season finale of Dexter season 4, episode 12, of course. Dexter and Arthur Mitchell find themselves on a collision course as Deborah unearths a shocking, long-hidden truth. Rita admits her marriage to Dexter is troubled, and Batista and LaGuerta face the consequences of an ethics breach. So, really good episode of Dexter. Obviously, we know what happens in the end of this episode. Dexter comes home, and Rita never left town because she forgot something, and she's in the bathtub as Trinity had got to her before Dexter had killed Trinity. You start the episode with them, Dexter and Arthur Mitchell at Miami Metro. Then Arthur leaves, and it's just such a crazy episode. Mainly probably because of the ending of the episode, and then you do have Dexter killing Arthur Mitchell in this episode, but he had already got to Rita beforehand. It's just so good. What a great way to end the season. I mean, if you're a Rita fan like T. Parker Evans, it's not a great way to end the season, but I didn't watch this show live. I started watching Dexter from the beginning in 2014. And nothing was spoiled for me. I didn't really like Rita as a character, but for those of you that liked Rita, I'd love to see reactions of everybody that I know that watched this show live when this moment happened. So The Getaway, Season 4, Episode 12, at the moment, is my favorite episode of Dexter. So there you have it, my top 15 favorite episodes of Dexter. Again, I know we're not going to agree on everything, and maybe some of you will say The Getaway is overrated, and I would put more episodes of Season 3 on there, like Brad Hawk Talk. I just couldn't pick an episode of Season 3. I'm sorry. I didn't. I couldn't. And Season 6, again, another season where I don't really like the season. I did pick 2 episodes of Dexter New Blood. Trust me, I didn't want to do that. Maybe I should have put Season 2, Episode 12's finale, the British Invasion, on here. Thought about it, but I don't know. For some reason, I went with, Everything is Illuminated and Runaway. So let me know whatever ranking that you have in the comment section. You remember, I'll be there. The legendary Crazy Coffee Man will be there. Brad Hawk Talk, T. Parker Evans, Vinny Lima, Rusty Reels, Troy McClure will all be in the comment section. Help me out with the YouTube algorithm. Hulk smash the like button. Otherwise, I'll put you on my table, wrap you up in plastic, and take a blood sample from you. Share the video with anybody that you know. Put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Again, sound off in the comment section with any... Did I say comics there? Sound off in the comments section with any of your thoughts regarding your favorite episodes of Dexter or anything else about Dexter if you want to put it in there. And then last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. You're watching the video anyway. Subscribe, motherfucker. Help me get over 100k subs. Join the team. Show your damn support and be a part of something special. And you never know what you're going to see on JDev TV.